Hi everyone, Scott here from SRG Marketing. In this video, I sat down with Judd Bagley, the VP of Marketing at 401 Go, which is a SaaS company in the financial services space. And we discussed how he was able, with the help of our team, to generate 37 qualified sales meetings from Google Ads in just 4 months. Before I jump into the interview, I want to just give a high level overview of how we did this. The interesting thing about Judd and his team is they actually worked with two other Google Ads agencies before working with us. And in those times, they both were not able to get the results they were looking for. In fact, the last one they worked with before working with us, they were spending $20,000 a month on Google Ads, and they only generated 3 sales meetings within 2 months. But the thing is, Judd knew there was an opportunity here because all of his competitors were spending tens of thousands, even millions of dollars on Google Ads. So he knew there was something there. They just weren't able to crack the code yet. So while his last agency was spending $20,000 to get 3 sales meetings in 60 days, we actually lowered our spend to $5,000 a month and were able to 5x that number and get them roughly 6 to 7 sales opportunities a month. If you want to get similar results to what Judd did with 401 Go with our agency, feel free to reach out and click the link below, and we can schedule time to chat and show you how we could do this for your business. But for now, here's the interview with Judd Bagley, and I hope you enjoy it and find it valuable.
One of the things that really stands out as being different is Scott and his team are frequently experimenting. You have enough experience in this space that I figured you could probably find a way to get around that problem. It's really been impressive to see the difference between what we were spending for nothing before and what we're spending now, which is quite a bit less and getting much, much better results.
All right, so today I'm here with Judd Bagley, who is the VP of Marketing at 401 Go. And today we're just going to talk a little bit about his experience working with SRG Marketing and some of the results that they've seen working with us. So Judd, thank you for taking the time to do this. I really appreciate it.
I'm happy to. Thank you.
Awesome. So I guess to start, can you just start by briefly describing what 401 Go does and what your role is inside the business?
Of course, yeah. 401 Go we're a fintech startup. We're a 401k retirement savings plan provider. We're very tech forward and kind of cutting edge where this technology is concerned and growing rapidly. So my job as vice president of marketing is just to oversee the whole marketing function within the company. That includes, strategic communications, PR, paid ads, the whole thing. So yeah, I do a little of everything.
Awesome. Awesome. And in terms of your Google Ads strategy, what did that look like before you started working with us?
So this company has made 3 attempts now at paid search marketing. The first predates me, but they're good records, so I've been able to kind of go through and look at it. One of the big problems they had, although they probably didn't realize it at the time, is financial companies are really subject to click fraud. So they were spending thousands and thousands a month getting tons and tons and tons of clicks, but none of them were legitimate. Anyway, we tried it again under me. I hired another agency and paid them a lot of money to try to do the same thing. They promised that that they could get around that problem. Didn't. I mean, we spent tens of thousands of dollars and got 2 meetings out of it. So I was just on the verge of giving up and just saying this can't work when Scott, you reached out to me, and I could kind of tell by the way you sort of positioned yourself, you have enough experience in this space that I figured you could probably find a way to get around that problem. And you have. It's really been impressive to see the difference between what we were spending for nothing before and what we're spending now, which is quite a bit less and getting much, much better results.
Cool. So that's really helpful. Can you tell me a little bit about like how your process has changed with Google Ads since working with us? What's kind of different now versus the past agencies, and what are some of the some more of the like process? Like you mentioned, like quick fraud, like things like that. Like how is that looking kind of differently now in our new process?
Our daily budget would just get eaten up within an hour or so, just nothing but fake clicks. And there really wasn't much of an effort to try to figure out ways around it. They just kind of threw up their hands and said, well, eventually, Google Ads get smarter, and we just have to let it learn, and that costs money. And so that was, it's very different now because one of the things that really stands out as being different is Scott and his team are frequently they're like experimenting with little changes and improvements, and are very kind of methodical in their approach to evaluating the benefit or lack of benefit of these moves. And that's helped us get the things dialed in. I mean, much faster than I expected to. And so the process really is every couple of weeks we get together. They talk about the things they've done, they've attempted, what has worked, what hasn't, things that they recommend we do on our end, and then they test that. and then come back and say this works or this doesn't. And it's continual iteration and improvement. And it's exactly the way this kind of thing needs to be done.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear, and I think the big thing is also, like, because we're focused on driving quality leads and driving demos and sales, and we're really focused on that metric, I think that's what makes it work, right? Because yes, we're testing everything, but then it's like, is this actually leading to the result you want, right? Versus, like, just driving a ton of random clicks and leads. It's more like quality over quantity.
Yeah, I'd say that's how we see it as well. And the real proof is kind of in the pudding. I mean, we're spending X a month on ads, and we're getting sometimes 2 and 3X in return on ad spend, and so it's kind of a no brainer to stick with it. And yeah, it works.
That's awesome. So you've already touched on this a little more, but I wanna maybe expand on it a little bit. What's it like working with SRG Marketing?
It's first of all, everybody on the team is just they're really good people, and it's I kind of look forward to interfacing with them every couple of weeks when they check in. That's not always the case with agency relationships, but it is with SRG for sure. And I really appreciate the way the Scott's team they'll frequently reach out with suggestions or recommendations. And I can tell that this relationship is one that they care about and spend a bit of time thinking about, even when it's not, 10 minutes before a check-in and now you have to throw a deck together. They don't approach it that way at all. It's all very thoughtful.
Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, yeah, and we also look forward to the meeting with you guys as well. We always really enjoy chatting with you. Um, and yeah, I think that's part of the model. It's, we don't take on a ton of clients, but we try to take on the right clients, and that's part of it, right? We don't want you to be one of 30 accounts that someone's managing, and we look at it, I don't know, once 20 minutes a week. I believe to get results for a company like you, like, it takes work. It takes a lot of understanding of the business, a lot of testing, and I don't think you can do it any other way. So it's good to hear that you're seeing that, because that's how we think about it as well. What are some results you've seen working with SRG Marketing?
Well, the main thing is, and the metric that we use to judge the success of the campaigns is meetings that are scheduled and happen. And we have had, I believe at this point, we're just a few months into this, and we've had 37 meetings that have taken place directly as a result of the paid search that we're doing. And so that's, given our rate of conversion at that point, I mean, I'll just say it's easy to tell that this is where the economics of this are working out really well.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I think those results are pretty good over a 4-month period. So, yeah, we've been really encouraged by those results, and I think kind of your point, there's still so much we can be doing, right? So much testing, so much more refinement. So it's really exciting what we've done so far, and what we can potentially do in the future. Um, did anything surprise you about our service before like when you started working with us that you didn't expect?
Well, I'll tell you one thing was that, in my prior agency experience, when as the click fraud became, was obviously so problematic, one of their early recommendations is, well, why don't you subscribe to a certain one of those, click fraud mitigation services? And I thought, I would have expected that would have been part of your service. That's part of what we're paying you for. Um, but I just said, well, maybe not. Well, one of the things that does surprise me is that SRG does take on the cost of that of the service, which I'm sure is probably contributing to the fact we're really just getting a lot of high quality clicks. And so that was one of the things that surprised me. Also, yeah, just the fact that it's apparent that we are on your and your team's mind frequently, and I'm not felt like that's been the case before. So with other experiences, so that has been a welcome surprise.
Cool, cool. Um, Last question on my end. If you were, let's say you were talking to another marketing leader, they were on the fence about working with us, what would you tell them?
Well, I would tell them one of the things that pushed me in that definitively pushed me in your direction, which was Scott was willing to commit to a certain KPI, which is meetings, which at the time seemed unreasonable given our prior experience. And so I thought, well, okay, he's willing to take a chance. Let's do it. And you guys have easily met that and exceeded it by quite a bit. So I would tell somebody who's considering working with you, just see what Scott will commit to, and if it doesn't happen, you walk away and everybody's learned something, I guess. If it does, then you should double down. And so that I think, at worst you might be losing a month but I don't think you will. That's what I'd say.
Cool, that's great. Yeah, and you know, you're not the only customer we do that with. That's how we operate, right? We commit to saying we're gonna get results, and I always tell people, I'm like, "Hey, if we can't get you the results, like, you should leave us." Like, so yeah, I really appreciate that because I do think it's an important part. It pushes us, right? We have to go figure it out, right, and act a little bit differently because we're saying, "Hey, we're gonna get you actual sales, we're not just gonna get you random click fraud conversions and things like that." So yeah, I appreciate you saying that. Cool. Well, that's all I had, Judd. I really appreciate you doing this, and thank you for taking the time to chat with me.
Happy to. Thanks.
Awesome.
All right, so that was the interview with Judd Bagley from 401 Go on how we helped them generate 37 qualified sales opportunities in just 4 months. If you like this content and want to hear more real life strategies for how we're helping SaaS companies and B2B companies generate results like this, feel free to subscribe to this channel. And we're creating videos all the time, walking through best practices like we did in this video on how we're helping clients get these results. So make sure to click the subscribe button, and I hope you enjoyed the video.